Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And Amabel is taking two classes at once.
and Amabel is taking two classes at once, and welcome back to one of them here, 4X School Age of Wonders 4 edition, where we are trudging through this scenario. I don't want to say trudging. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to come into this with a negative energy. We're supposed to be clearing the Eye of Manuhari, which we're kind of working in the direction of, right? A structure called the Eye of Manuhari that must be cleared of evil birds or whatever. And then of course we are to go to this place and defeat or ally with the Commonwealth remnants, and you remember the plot of the whole thing.
I vaguely remember. It has been a little while since
it has. Yeah, we were unfortunately stricken with a terrible illness, and so it's been like 2 weeks since the last episode. That's okay. It's not that complicated of a game. We'll remember.
Yeah.
So we had hit the end of this turn already. Let's just go ahead and press the button. Right. Let the AI cycle through.
That's a rule. Do we have any other characters?
Yeah, we have a couple of different characters.
What are their names?
I see.
Can build monuments.
Hold on.
Powerful province improvements.
So this is a thing because our faction is specifically an architect faction. We can build these monuments that are powerful province improvements dedicated to the affinities, in case you can't read the text. Each once built monument started at tier 1 can be upgraded to tier 4, and yeah, they get better when you upgrade them. They cost Wonderstone.
Wonderstone can be obtained from magic materials.
Alright, so magic materials are a class of thing. There's several different ones. There's resource nodes that are on the map, and we have to find some if we want to collect Wonderstone. So that's all stuff to keep in mind. We have here an army. Yeah.
Armies are the core of...
Did the tutorial complexity restart between episodes? I don't know what's going on. So yeah, we have here an army led by Larissa Mirabilis, and of course her friend J.R.R. Trollkin, who is a Trollkin. There it is. Amabel is 100% slain. Her microphone is editing out most of the laughter, but I think some of that's coming through. Okay, and over here, this is the Eye of Manuhari. So it is a gold difficulty ancient wonder. There's going to be some hostiles in there. I would like to have at the very least a full army before going over, and maybe some better troops than the ones we have right now. So what can we use this army for in the meantime? There's some Marauder Guards standing on top of something here. It's a shame that mousing over the tile doesn't seem to tell us what the reward is. It looks like books. And there's some other stuff around here that's probably worth owning. Let's take this squad over and just claim this.
Yeah. Books, check them out.
I don't think we're ready for the eye yet. All right, if we were to auto combat this, how many of our units would it kill, do you think? Okay, none of them. I am inclined to accept that result. So we collected that stuff, and also Structurium. I don't know why it says you collect. These resources go to Structurium. That's why it's phrased that way, because this is draft, right? So that's not anything that can exist freely the way the gold can. And yeah, it was $35 was what was on the space. Well, that's still good to have. And then there are lots of other things around. Let's just step back into our own territory for, as you can see, a tremendously greater amount of health regen. Okay, over here we have a hostile army that's actually like absolutely terrifying. Look at that. A tier 5 progenitor golem. A mythic enemy. So it might behoove us to back the hell up a little bit here. We can merge up with this guy and at least get this army to full size, but I am for sure concerned. about all that. And then you are just scouting. Unfortunately, it's fairly rare that scouts can pick up loot by themselves. Loot's almost always guarded by an army. Okay, Larissa Mirabilis has leveled up, and she has Nightmare. just a horrible thing to look at here as a skill tree. So, as a mortal champion, she can gain defensive formation. While army leader, all non-hero units in the army get bonus defense and resistance to adjacent friendly units. You know, run your people together. Offensive formation is similar, but it's damage instead of defense. All non-hero units in your army get 2 experience each turn. Everybody gets regenerate 10 hit points per turn. That's interesting. This is a world map turn, not a combat. Well, it says turns during combat are taken one player after another. So maybe it does apply in combat as well. It's kind of weird when you think about it, because like an infinite number of combat turns are compressed into a world map turn. And if you can gain 10 HP in each combat turn, then you should for sure be refilling to full health at the end of every world map turn. Trivially.
Yeah, this is something where
given the time scaling.
I will say in my world, in my profession, people are very touchy about turn, round, phase, like how those are applied. You would not use the word turn for things that are contained within another thing.
That is called a turn. That is itself called a turn.
Yeah.
And then this gives you some ability to, shoot fire around people. Chaining fire versus blast of fire. And then also there's signature skills, which is a whole... This character has an awful lot of unlock potential, which makes me think that maybe she comes with you over the different maps of this story or something.
So what are the chances if you take the blast of fire that our frogs will get into a cooking contest?
I'm sorry, is this a Breath of Fire 2 reference that you're making out of nowhere? Is that what's happening? Okay, well y'all can't hear it because she again has completely taken herself out, but she's nodding. I'm gonna take the blast.
Thank you.
You're a strange creature, Amabel. All right, I'm a little worried about this this progenitor golem army. Is it after us? Because if it is in pursuit, we are in some serious danger. Opponents are moving. It is in pursuit. We are in some serious danger. Well, my guess is that the auto combat is just gonna show that we are dead.
Let's find out.
Indeed. The manual combat's probably not going to do much better, but we are at least going to give it a swing. So we got to try to kill the thing, right?
Yeah. So, its little minions, the other units in its army are pretty low tier and not terribly impressive. Right, yeah, these guys just have 55 HP, and they're pretty standard. This thing has a breach bolt. What is magical upheaval? Up to 3 random enemies and their adjacent allies. Sustain 20 lightning damage, gain 2 weakened, gain 2 sundered. So we want to be careful about stacking our people up together. Target enemy unit has a 120% chance of becoming sealed, meaning that it cannot move or act, but doesn't. It just like removes them from the battle entirely. And then breach bolt, magical bolt that does bonus damage to adjacent enemies. Yeah, so try not to stack our guys up for this one. Okay.
It's worth having looked at for sure. How fast do you move? Okay, so you could get out to here, and from here you would have ranged attacks out to there. So for the moment, let's be a little conservative with our movements. We'll just step forward very slightly. Try to fan out a bit. So that we have room to advance somewhat without being all on top of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little worried that this is going to leave us not entirely in range to actually fight. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, hopefully we can get them to kind of like move into combat in a pretty disconnected way themselves. Not so much, huh? All right, we have 70 casting points and 200 mana to play with. I know how to conjure an elemental. Okay, resilient incarnation. Mark as prey causes the enemy to lose 3 defense and 3 status resistance. And the elemental is a tier 1, so it's a 60 health unit with poor defenses. What are the defense ratings on this guy? 8 defense, 9 resistance. Okay. So fairly armored. Pretty armored. Amabel, what if I just do worse? What if I just do worse than the auto resolver?
I don't see how you could.
Well, I could fail to. What do you mean? The auto resolver did pretty well.
I am believing in you. I am believing in you.
Okay. I appreciate that. Right now, they've positioned themselves such that they can't actually affect me on their turn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's not true. If the progenitor runs straight forward, it can get attacks off. It can get a single point attack off on a couple of our people. I'm wondering if the thing to do is to try to draw them forward one more time. You know?
Yeah. I mean, try it.
But I want them to separate, you know? We could try to retreat, but I do think we have to try to kill this thing. It's just going to keep coming. Hide you in the trees. And you just take a single step back. All right. I'm going to draw them forward a little bit more. I'm hoping that they will separate as they approach because we're so kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't really.
They didn't know.
But, I mean, a little bit. Okay, so you have to be very careful about being adjacent to each other. Oh, the stupid foliage is making it impossible for me to get a charge on this side. Alright, my scrap hermit could melee these guys. They're actually doing a really good job of keeping the foliage in the way of all of my approaches. There's one thing that I actually do think is a little bit of a bummer about this game and the way that the graphics are represented is that I think it's a lot easier for the AI to keep track of all of the effects of all of the different kinds of tiles.
Okay, yeah.
There being low foliage and high foliage, and this foliage which has a different effect because it's stink flowers, and this foliage which has a different effect because it's dry, and like that level of specificity really aids the AI.
Yeah. Like, certainly I try in my work, we try to avoid that kind of granularity, and if we do something that granular, we tried like to print the information like right on the hexes. Like, if you had an overlay here that gave you that information, it'd be a lot easier for you to parse.
Yes, like when I hold Alt, I kind of get something, which is like some of these tiles are marked in red. That's I'm sure that's meaningful.
I mean, it's probably showing that it's blocking line of sight, I'm assuming. Or that you can't walk through it. I'm not sure.
How do I want to do this? Okay, so the progenitor can do whatever it wants next turn. It's close enough to us that it's going to get all of its attacks. I can lightning evocation. Two others within 3 hexes. So a lightning evocation here will hit all 3 of these enemies. One thing that would be really nice is if we could destroy some terrain around here, but sadly we don't have any spells of that type, I don't think. We'll have to move to cast it. So partially the question here is, where's everybody else going to end up?
Yeah.
Because I got to make sure we're not ending in positions where we're adjacent to each other. So these two are both pretty blocked, but the Scrap Hermit could at least run to here. And then I think catch this guy with the cone. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Will the cone destroy the terrain? Let's find out. Okay, yeah, it opened up a fair amount of that. Unfortunately, I'm not able to... what I was hoping was to move to this space. Apparently, I don't quite have the movement for that. So we're going to end up putting 2 units adjacent to each other if I get this attack. And if I don't get this attack, I just look like a big idiot. I think we do have to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to mark you as prey... It's 10 of our casting points, 25 of our casting points to make an elemental, 15 to provide the buff. Mark as prey is our most sort of like resources efficient spell. These guys are all immune to distraction, but the distraction effect wasn't going to be particularly significant anyway, especially since we're hammer charging the guy.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and fuck your shit up. I'm going to step forward. So this is safe. It's not in the sense that it's not adjacent to people. And it lets me open up with the lightning. You guys can ride up. Get a good smash. Unfortunately, these halberd units, they get their retaliation strike first, because that's what holding a halberd does.
Yeah.
We'd like to group up on the enemy, but obviously... Or we'd like to gang up on the enemy, but that means grouping up as well, and that's no good. I mean, does it make sense? If you acid spray, like if I move to here, I could acid spray both of them and not put myself in stabbing range. Huh. That's an interesting... So this is what they mean by two hex cone.
Yeah.
You say, yeah, like that's natural.
I mean, it's
not a cone. It's literally not a cone.
yeah.
Like,
No, it's not a
when
cone.
when you
but
say
it's-
2 hex cone to me in a hex game, I see this tile, and this tile are the edges of the cone, right? And so it also gets that one. Like that's your cone shape.
Yeah.
It's a triangle, and your unit's on one point of it. That's how cones work. This is just kind of an awkward block of hexes in a direction. This is like a line, a short line going outward. All right, and then we can poison blast. I guess I could have led with poison blast. Again, trying to maintain some kind of reasonable distance. So my hope, of course, is to kill the like 1 or 2 of the little guys before the big guy has to be jumped. Because we're not killing the big guy during this combat. We can wear him down some.
Yeah.
But we'll see if this is... I'm so worried that I'm going to underperform the auto-resolver and look like a fool. Amabel.
I don't think you look like a fool. It's a tough fight.
Okay. He did his hit 3 people and all their neighbors thing and only hit 4 people in total, which I think is pretty good for us.
Not for those people, though. They're having a bad day.
Sure. But, like, we minimize casualties.
Yeah. No, I understand that.
You say you understand.
I'm just saying, I don't know if this would have happened if we had J.R.R. Tolkien in this army.
Oh, well. We
Yeah.
cannot live or die on the behaviors of J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay? We gotta live in the world we're living in now. So target gains +2 nature incarnate. Like this right before committing a bunch of melee attacks would be the time to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You would like for it to be on the unit that I think is going to survive to have another turn. You know?
Yeah.
So who is that? So, you know, it's a great question. I do wish that we had, like, a good damage spell. It'd make my life a lot easier. So you just have a basic melee strike that confers wetness. I mean,
Same.
Amabel.
Yeah.
So I can just drop you on like any tile. Yeah, you know, the summon might make sense. Like if we have this guy run over, smash you. And then, I guess, yeah, we have to be careful about summoning in a place that's adjacent still. I want to cast this nature affinity on something that's going to get 3 attacks, you know? But I'm just worried that this unit's just going to die. In fact, it's going to die before it... Yeah, it's going to die from the first strike damage. You can walk over here and throw a couple of punches. You're badly wounded, though. Oh, this guy's... If I walk over here and throw some punches, this guy's actually not in position to first strike me because we have his back. I actually do like that a lot. Sticking the cultivate nature affinity on you would remove one of these negative effects. And we don't get to... There's no way to predict which one, I don't think.
Okay.
And then create that link. I don't know. I'm debating whether I'm better off just, like, you know, shooting poison at people. I think I'm not gonna link here. So we are gonna take the step. Okay. It didn't show the opportunity attack. I couldn't remember if this was a game where... Because in some games, you suffer an opportunity attack if you try to move out of any tile adjacent to a melee enemy, and in some it's only if you try to leave their melee area, so you can sort of dance in their space. And now we know. It should probably display that correctly, though, if that's how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's happening? We're nature linking the boss. Cultivate the nature affinity of Boss Frog. And then we're going to have at this dude from the flank. Okay. Now... kind of think, like, if I run you around to here and take one swing, how much health do you have? You have 10, so I do need to do double damage, which means that if I run around to here, I don't get it. That's annoying, because I wanted to run around to here and then have this unit move so that we prevent... If I run in for the kill from this side, then I've created some adjacency, and the boss is going to take advantage of that, obviously. I guess I could summon the elemental on this tile here. I believe it can attack the first turn it comes down. I sure hope so. Let's find out. Let's learn how units work all over again. Indeed. Splatter. And now we can have you run up and face this guy, and then we haven't created any more adjacencies. Clonk. Amabel, we're doing it. We clonked him. Alright, where do I want you to go? This scrap hermit, I think, is just going to kind of like run around.
Okay.
It's not very compelling actions, but without creating more adjacency, and especially because the Scrap Hermit itself is kind of a low impact unit, like having it end up adjacent to somebody and having that person take extra damage because of it would be really bad, I think, given that he probably will not contribute anything more valuable to this combat. All right, so we took out one of their strikers. We're still in, like, okay shape. We lost a Scrap Hermit, which is, you know... Wow, okay, that was a lot more damage than I was expecting from being adjacent to that guy. That's fine. I didn't need Frog Boss. I really thought Frog Boss was going to survive one turn in melee. All right. Well, we're in terrible position now, Amabel.
I see that.
We can certainly do some work on this wisp. You guys, sadly, are stunned. You could run down and puke on the progenitor golem. Attacking these guys is certainly a fool's errand. I can't get 2 hits off on the progenitor golem no matter how I approach it, which is a real shame. But I can run in here and punch it in the flank at least. And now it's wet.
Now it's wet.
That'll show him. How much health do you have left? Not you. This. 13. So a full damage hit from the cultivator will kill it. And there's lots of places over here where I should get a clean... Yeah. Let's be done with you. And then you can fucking... I don't know what you can do. You can run over here and puke on those guys. Is this once per... No, it's one more turn. One more turn of cooldown. Well, you can, at the very least, run over here and distract these guys. If their polearm troops were to spend their turn attacking my scrap hermit instead of attacking my elemental, I think that would be just fine, actually.
Okay.
You cannot cast spells if your ruler is dead. So I was planning on summoning another elemental this turn. Oh wait, who still has actions? Oh, you right. You guys haven't done a thing. Darn it! They chose to do something intelligent. Ow. Well, some good news. These things have put themselves into cone vomit position. Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and do that. Take that, everyone. Your defenses are fucked. And then
it's too much health.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. Need to punch this guy in the back of the head a couple more times. Yeah, a couple more strikes from the elemental would have been, or a couple more casts from our boss would have been real nice. All right, well, I'm gonna eat opportunity attack here. There's not really anything I can do about it, I don't think. I could run up on you. That creates a little bit of adjacency. What's the cooldown on your stuff? So this is still 2 turns out, but your breach bolt does work that way, and you're in his enemy zone of control now. But you'll just walk out of it on your turn and absorb the opportunity attack, as we have seen multiple times. Yeah, that's frustrating. And this thing, sadly, as a golem, is immune to some of the stuff that I would like to do to it, like distracting it. So the question is, like, honestly, the question I think is, are we better off just not attacking it if we can't attack it without taking retaliation? I think the answer is yes. I think we do in fact just not swing.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna take that, but moving away, you know, I'm costing that thing attacks on its turn at the very least, and I get to shoot. Hooray! Yeah, the only way I could hit you is to create more adjacency. So I will just run up, but not in. I assume their polearm guy is going to continue hunting our priest. Okay, breach bolt on the scrap hermit is great. Polearm guy did not hunt the priest. Interesting. So it's interesting that it's not showing the retaliation, because we will take retaliation here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really. We're not gonna do very much damage, sadly. That is just the truth of it. Three. Got him. Yeah, I definitely I underestimated these bronze columns. Man, what an ability. Now, magnanimously, the game will allow us to retry.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. I'm not.
Okay.
I don't like. You could just retry battles over and over again until you get a result that you find most favorite. Like, you know, I don't know. What do you think about infinite retries? I'm a little leery.
I mean, in a single player game, and in a game where a lot of the information is not being properly telegraphed, I have less issue with it. You know, I played some tactical hex-based fantasy games where they autosave every turn, and it does, you know, make you're not save scumming. It makes your decisions very, very tense. But you have to have the information, right,
Yeah.
to make decisions. If you make a decision and it puts you out of range by a hex, or your ability doesn't work on this guy because the game didn't tell you, or didn't tell you properly, or this terrain is I mean, that's really annoying.
Sure.
So I feel like the UI elements, the terrain information is sloppy enough that I don't mind the retries. That's not saying that they should do that. They should just have better terrain information. You know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said that thing about like the amount of different like similar but not the same terrain making things easier for the AI, because it's very easy for a player to miss that like a tile is one thing and not another in the heat of decision making. But I don't know. I think you're maybe overstating the case.
I mean, I might be, but it also, there's a way in which that kind of granularity, if not properly telegraphed, kind of, you know, it brushes up against my own professional standards, which I know I don't make video games, is a different thing, but I feel like that's if you're going to have this level of complexity, then you need the right tools to help the player understand that complexity.
Sure.
Like I feel like you have to a degree, a duty as a designer or developer to provide that.
I will say I had also not realized with these bronze columns that they were going to be immune to having their retaliation mode broken, which does make them way more dangerous.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of hoping we can keep drawing this column this way and just, like, sort of focus on these three while we basically, like, just decoy this guy out. We'll see how that works in practice. And I think I'm going to go ahead and end turn here. We're gonna summon a conjure. We're gonna summon an elemental earlier this time because I did find that I enjoyed the work that it was capable of. Okay, not too bad. I feel like we got it to commit its spell kind of early that time. Kind of way too early. So... interesting. How do I want to approach this then? I wish that the boss was a little closer. We're not going to be able to get the lightning evocation to bounce. Okay, if I run up here...
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do a little bit better with my sequencing here too, because like the poison blast has a chance of inflicting status vulnerability, which makes opponents more vulnerable to status effects, and I cast that last on the first turn instead of early on last time because I did not remember all the things that our units did. Okay, so we did get some status vulnerability, and so we might get some better effect out of our lightning damage here or whatever. Alright, do I want to just drop the water spirit on this thing? Is I think the question. I kind of want to... Yeah, you know what? Let me run up to here and do the spit. Open up the terrain around here as well. Man, that's a lot of retaliation damage. These things are super annoying to fight. And what I like, if we can clear out the one on this side and then just keep this one far away, then we can all focus in on the progenitor golem real hard, right? So that's my intent here. All right, let me conjure this elemental into this tile. The retaliation hurts. Then we splash you real good. Then we give you the lightning while your status resistance is down and also you're wet. And then we have the Earthbreaker run in now and... Okay, hopefully we can just overwhelm that thing. I might just have this Scrap Hermit kind of run through. It seems like the this guy's kind of on the hunt, right? Where can you get to? Yeah, the Scrap Hermit can move far enough that that guy can't catch it. And then I'm gonna like fall back here. Let's see what this guy does. The bronze golem down here is going to get to do some pretty serious damage. There's not a lot we can do about that. Okay, focused on the scrap hermit. That's great news for us. Okay, he's going after the summon, which is great because again, like the loss of the summon obviously means nothing to the army. All right, so this unit is sealed. They're just completely not part of the fight right now. They may as well not exist. We can have our hero. I'm hoping this standing here won't end up biting me in the ass because these guys are sealed. Well, they're sealed for... Effect ends if the other linked unit dies. It's like they're sealed permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not coming back. Okay, so I am going to run over adjacent to them. Just trying to get away from the spears.
Right.
Shoot these guys from a distance. That'll give us most of the damage. And then y'all can run up behind them and not actually get the fucking job done because you're so bad at everything. You will kill them, but you'll die yourself. Or you'll take retaliation damage, and then you'll be close enough that these guys can follow up. If I run to here, I can hit him in the back, but I can only hit him once, and so I don't kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is what I'm going to do. And then... Are you pushing on these guys? You could run around. So this does create an adjacency, but it also gets us the kill. This creates an adjacency for the water spirit. Yeah, I like this better. Because again, obviously we don't care in a very large way if that water spirit dies. Oh, also the water spirit hasn't had a turn yet. They can just walk out of there.
Okay.
Can you reach us if we go to the boss? Not immediately. Unfortunately, we're pretty fucked up from all the damage. We do have another elemental summon available too. I'm trying to figure out, like, are we just dropping it behind the boss and throwing punches? Because if so, then... Yeah, I think so.
Boss is going to be so wet.
Right? How are you going to fight while damp? Huh? Do you think of that one? I never think of that one. And then, yeah, I guess I'm going to run over here because we wouldn't deal meaningful damage to this thing anyway. I'm just going to run over here to create annoyance. Plus, now you're in 2-unit zone of control. And then you can... Yeah, you can get 2 melee strikes in. That's reasonable. And the question is, do we now use the Earthbreaker to try to, like, basically pin this guy? I think so. I would love it if we're paying attention to this instead of, other stuff. I do not mind sacrificing that Earthbreaker. Okay, pretty good damage on that. Blows up the Scrap Hermit. Not a big surprise. And look at that. We even get some retaliation damage in. And you don't successfully kill me. I think we probably will not attack here. We'll just go into defense mode.
Okay.
Because I don't want to give them the free kill on the retaliate. And this turn, mark as prey, and let's try to fuck this guy up. So I definitely want you guys to run in and throw some punches. I guess I'm going to move these ones out. Because space adjacent to the boss is a limited resource now, right?
Yeah.
All right, let our hero run in and double strike here. Scrap Hermit could step to there and get one strike. You guys, that's right, you guys aren't part of the battle. I should probably have linked somebody before they attacked, but I didn't remember to do it, so. Okay, and now that's going to be a very annoying thing for the boss to deal with, because now it has to suffer a bunch of opportunity attacks.
And attacks if it leaves, yeah.
Okay, they killed the Earthshakers, but it took their whole turn. Okay, I mean, I think we're doing a pretty good job keeping control of the situation.
Yeah, I think you're doing a much better job this time, sweetheart.
Thank you. Okay, so we can get double attacks. It moved enough that nobody's able to get a triple. Nobody can just stand and fight. How does the undead thing work again? Friendly undead corpse is revived with 60% of its total HP. It has 4 range and it costs all of your action points. So I can... Wait. Oh, a friendly undead would become... Right, anything else just comes back as zombie, which is a tier 1 garbage pants unit. I think I am going to go ahead and raise an undead here. And the purpose of this unit is to keep the spears from interfering too much.
Okay.
Just move you up to here and throw some more punches. Actually, does it make more sense for the zombie to just attack? I had assumed that it would not, but maybe if we can get enough total damage out.
Yeah.
Are you still debuffed? Yeah, but you can put more of that on. I should have done this before striking with these guys. That's an error. Free errors, no waiting. So you'll have 22 health left. Zombie sits for 11. You know what? It's only 8. So I don't think we can quite kill this thing. And that being the case, we do have to be cautious. Because we don't want to get rained on with its thing. So unfortunately, the zombies can't move quite far enough to do what I wanted them to do. So I think they are going to be attackers instead. But they are going to be boss attackers. And I will have the Scrap Hermit just run up here and go into... Well, I guess I can run up here and I can vomit garbage on you. I think I'm just going to defend. Well, defense mode, and we're a tile away, so they have to spend an action point and then attack into the defense mode.
Okay.
Okay, our summon ran out. Okay, once again, we've done a good job of weathering the garbage. He was able to run around back of the casters. That's a shame. But I think the zombies kill the golem.
All right.
So that's an outcome that I did not foresee. You guys still can't actually do meaningful damage to this thing. How are you so bad at fighting? Scrap hermits. Alright, they're able to do that at least. Somebody's got to finish this thing off.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just give them a nice big charge and hammer. And then I had to kill this asshole. And we're out of casting resources. I spent all of my combat casting points.
Mm.
So we can lightning evocation this turn. I mean, you need to move away. We know that if we end the turn with our caster, with our hero in melee range of these guys, they're going to kill it in a single triple strike. So I do think it behooves us to stay back and cast. And I guess that means you're just eating an opportunity attack, because standing adjacent to them means they get more attacks against you on their turn anyway. So let's go to here. Yep. It's fine. And just hit him with the poison blast. If the status vulnerability lands... Okay, there we go. We get a little bit more chance of electrifying them. Hooray. So electrified, remember, is just damage every turn. It's electro poison. Okay, they continue to chase the casters, which I understand, but hate. I think our zombies have one more turn? Someone's... Maybe they don't have the same kind of timer. I don't know. Yeah, I really wish I could... Really wish I could break the retaliation mode.
Yeah.
Alright, well, on these guys at least, there's no particular reason for us to care about grouping up. It doesn't really harm us to group up. Punch, punch, punch. So that doesn't do anything. I can't quite get around back. The cultivator's just gonna defense mode. Alright, and we can ride in with the hero next turn. I don't think I want to run in right now.
Okay.
Well, I get it for 24. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. You can only kill one of us. Who will it be? It turns out it's my leader. Actually, he Yeah, okay. He grazed there and failed to get the job done.
Sweetheart, did you win this?
I did.
Are you the greatest player ever?
I did, if you allow for a small amount of time travel. I don't know. Should that count? Is that reasonable?
Yes.
A flurry of colorful wings accounts, accompanied with the tweeting songs from 1,000 beaks, heralds to you the arrival of Yukara Zandera the Phoenix. That it is true what the flying eyes have described, and the serpent has shed its tail to grow a second head. Zandera the Phoenix stares at you as if she is attempting to pierce your soul. In case you didn't know what a soul was, here's the definition of soul.
No, don't do that.
But let it be known that the Krasura are no helpless foe. The ingenuity and indomitable will of our ancestors lets our spirits soar high and plunge the serpent into the abyss. Flee these lands of our protection, Growlin Spring Shower, and return to the sky beyond. The Krasura will invoke their wrath upon any invaders. Your rival, Zandera the Phoenix, gains a moderate grievance against you for being in his land. All you hear is violence, and you sign up for it in blood. I'm going to give him that. That's a pretty sick thing for the declare war button to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, Serpent? Sky Beyond? What are you talking about? The Warden of Manu... Okay, I guess we're talking to the Warden now. The Warden of Manuhari collapses with an ear-splitting blend of crackling astral discharges and squeaking metal. For a brief moment, silence ensues, and it appears the progenitor golem has exhaled its last mechanical breath. Then, however, to the horror of your troops, the broken pieces start moving again, rearranging themselves into a deranged, crooked version of the Warden's former self. Kept alive by some powerful magic, the progenitor golem claps its destroyed wings and escapes into the sky. Okay, so I've received 94 binding essence, which can be used for crafting items in the item forge. And also, grimly, we start preparations for the Warden's return. I don't need that thing coming back any tougher. Zandera the Phoenix shows no intention of enlightening you on the meaning of her words, so it played the first part of one conversation. We responded, then it played a different interaction, and now it's playing the second part of that conversation. What a shameful age to live in, where the ignorant are given the power to challenge the wise, she continues her speech. Our forefathers were the sages of the sky beyond, guides and gatekeepers of its many worlds. The lion himself, who ruled above all, sought their counsel and aid against its foes. But when the lion fought the worldworms, it became the manticore, betraying and stinging our ancestors with its poisonous tail. If you are a species of bird people...
Yeah.
Like, we do this. We do this. Humans do this. Richard the lion, we like that guy's the lion, this guy's the wolf. But if you're a species of bird people, is that weird to do? To give one of your number an animal nickname that's not bird based? I guess how much time, if you're a bird person, do you spend thinking of yourself as a bird person and not just a person? Because being a bird person is totally normal to you, right?
Yeah.
Should they have a guy who calls himself the lion? This is my idol musing.
Wait, can you hover over the lion?
Yeah. When we do that, it brings up the box for archons.
Okay.
Which is to say that the lion is an archon, I guess, and maybe not a bird person at all.
But like, I can see I mean,
when the lion fought the
humans are a
worldworms,
kind of animal.
it became the manticore. Same box pop up.
That's...
Yeah, no, you know what? You're totally right. Humans are a kind of animal, and the way I asked that question, it was like, well, human is obviously the default for person. Okay,
What are you,
never
D&D?
mind. Never mind. Withdrawn. I feel like an ass. We prevailed through the darkest night, devoid of the light from the sky beyond. Now the serpent has come with thunder and fire, maliciously feigning woe. But whenever it grows a new head, we will peck it out. Peck its head out. Fucking sick. You're rad. So the serpent is the Commonwealth remnants? Well, then I will aid them in their struggle and go to war with you immediately. Also, there's a different button that puts you at war without the bonus to relations with Valerie. So I don't know why you would click that one. Or you could say, I am not the serpent, nor one of its heads. I have come to restore peace. But choosing this option will block the Commonwealth Remnants collaborator story path. Do we want to be the collaborator with the Commonwealth Remnants to fight this Birdman? Or do we want to try to make peace with everybody?
This feels like Mad Libs.
Okay, I see what you're saying a little bit.
No, I mean, that's not fair. It feels like most fantasy settings when you're coming in on like book 11.
Yeah.
For some...
we just have to choose here. Like, do we want to try to make peace with the bird people as our resolution to this story, or do we want to go to war with the bird people?
I mean, I don't know much about the bird people to tell you.
I think making peace with them probably does not prevent us from making peace with the other side as well. There's probably an everybody gets along ending.
Yeah. Why don't we go there? You had enough trouble fighting like one bird.
That was not a bird. That was a progenitor golem.
It was bird shaped. It
was
like
bird.
A bird.
It was kind of bird like.
It was like a cassowary.
All right, listen. I'm not a serpent, actually. Zandera the Phoenix ignores your attempt to speak of peace, turning her back on your conversation. It is clear the Krasura have suffered too much betrayal and aggression from foreigners in the past and the present. Their trust will not be easily won, but there must be someone among their people with at least the willingness to listen to you. You ponder your options, how best to catch the attention of an influential Krasura who might be reasoned with. Reward, mystery bonus. So we can send out heralds to proclaim our good intentions. We'll lose 54 Imperium, but we will accept the quest and get the bonus. We can't do this one because we don't have enough mana because we just spent like 100 mana in combat doing spirit stuff. Have your cities deliver gifts to the Krasura as tokens of your goodwill. We'll get the mystery bonus and the quest, and production and growth and everything is blocked in our cities for some number of turns. Because we have enough nature affinity, we can attempt a 4-strength nature affinity check. 50-50 chance. On a success, Birdsong spreads the word of your good intentions across Monohari, and we accept the quest and get the bonus. We also get a nature boon, increasing city stability in all your cities. And, it says all cities of your empire gain stability. This might just be a description of the boon. But if so, it probably shouldn't be. It should be like a sub-dot, right? Or we fail. Birds scatter unsettled, spreading wild rumors of your encounter. We still get the quest and the bonus, but our cities lose stability for a while instead. And losing city stability does reduce the output of our cities. Or none of these options are worth the effort, and we simply decline the quest to make contact with the Krasura. And we're not at war with them, but we're also not particularly trying to make peace with them. I feel like we should try.
Yeah.
We got all this nature affinity. I say let's try to make the birds try to have the local birds go forth and sing to them of our goodness. Yeah?
Okay.
Deciding fate. We failed. Well, we got the quest, but our cities are all fucked up with birds. Your claimed province has been captured. Zandera the Phoenix has captured one of your claimed provinces. Because of your claims, you now have a 15-point grievance against him. So when it says claimed provinces, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Just like anything that's close to your shit is claimed, basically. Like,
okay,
he didn't steal our land. He settled in a place that we might have maybe eventually wanted to maybe settle in. Maybe
Gotcha.
And with that, we are actually considerably over the hour already, despite the fact that not a huge amount has happened, because we spent a long time in that progenitor battle. So I think that is going to be where we call it for today. Amabel, what did you think of that battle and sort of like taking multiple attempts at it? And because like I think stuff like that is really going to be the lion's share of your gameplay time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the battle system's cool. I feel like something that detailed. Excuse me. I feel that like the Total War Warhammer takes up a lot of time in the battles if you don't auto battle, right? But there's so much going on here. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it actually. I'm trying to parse it out, and it's I don't mind being able to reattempt the battle.
I feel a little guilty about it, as is probably quite obvious.
But I mean, what would have happened if you had accepted that loss? Is it just game over? Are you just dead?
I mean, we would have been driven to rush out some troops from Probalion, you know, at high cost, purchasing stuff or whatever, and then try to burn the thing the rest of the way down in a second battle.
You know, I've done some games where there's a bifurcation between like the operational / strategic level stuff and then like fighting out battles, and in my experience, if both those things are detailed, it really bogs it down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess is what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I don't have a real detailed answer there, other than it does feel like there's a lot of weight given to the battles. And it does feel like we'll have a slower pace as a result.
Yeah,
playing through the game.
All right, that's fair. You don't need to have like a brilliant answer off the top of your head. Think about it, and you know we'll come back next time for even more fantasy violence, and maybe some cromulent things to say about it. And we'll see you then.